Hello, my name is Erin Kregar, and I'm a Spanish teacher here at Cocalico High School. I have your child either for Spanish 1, Spanish 2, or possibly AP Spanish this semester. I also on occasion teach Spanish 3. I'm also one of the Global Scholars Advisors here at Cocalico, and I'll talk more about that program in a little bit. And you may also recognize me as the Freshman Class Advisor as well. I'm going to share tonight with you a little bit about my expectations for class, how Schoology is set up, and how you can contact me or how your child can get help throughout the semester. Please feel free to reach out to me at any point with questions. So every day when your child comes into class, you can expect that they will start class with a warm-up. This helps students review what we did yesterday. That also helps them get ready and get back into the Spanish mode to start class. We'll always review that warm-up together. It will be a variety of things. It could sometimes be a conversation practice. Sometimes it will be translating. And then we'll also follow up with a trivia question. This helps just review culture. There are over 20 Spanish-speaking countries in the world. So this helps students learn some fun facts about different parts of the Spanish-speaking world. And then we'll start our first activity for the day. In class, we typically do anywhere from 3 to 4 different activities in a class. This helps keep students engaged in what we're doing. And it also gives them the opportunity to work individually, to absorb the content on their own and recognize maybe areas where they might need additional help or areas where they're doing really well. It also gives them the opportunity to work in pairs and small groups. This is really important when learning a language so that students have the opportunity to practice speaking as much as possible. And many times we'll also do different activities as a whole class as well. Activities every day will try to focus on as many of the language skills as possible: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. I really want students to be able to use their Spanish skills as much as possible. And so for that reason, we try to practice all 4 of these as often as possible. Tests and projects will also reflect all 4 of these skills. So students may be asked on a test or a quiz to listen and respond to different questions. They might engage in some speaking questions. They might be doing some reading comprehension, and they might also be doing some writing of their own. For grading, it is based upon tests and quizzes. In Spanish 1 and 2, typically a chapter has 1 or 2 quizzes and then a chapter test. Almost every chapter test will include a speaking question, and students know where they can locate those on Schoology so that they can be practicing from home some sample questions. Almost every chapter also has a project. These vary depending on the topic and depending on what skills we've practiced already. They might be essays or posters in which students are demonstrating more of their writing skills. They might be skits or videos in which students are practicing more of their speaking skills. Students also do a noticias assignment. That would be a current event assignment. We review it at the beginning of this semester. We do a sample one together. And then students are assigned one Friday each quarter. So it's a different date for each student, where they find a current event news article about something that has happened within the last week in a Spanish-speaking country around the world. They type up some information and answer some questions about it, submit it on Schoology the night before, and then on their assigned date in class, they will share and present that information to the class. Students have choice about what they want to write about, so I encourage them to find an article that really interests them or about something that is new information to them. Students also may see classwork as part of their grade, different assignments that we do in class. If it's something that we've practiced with a lot already, it might be an assignment that I collect for a grade. And then occasionally there is some homework. I do not assign nightly homework. I encourage students instead to spend most evenings with 5 or 10 minutes on Quizlet or studying their vocab. Vocab is really the building blocks of what we do here in class. And so while we do review in class, it is helpful if students can spend that 5 to 10 minutes studying their vocab each night so they come into class prepared and ready to use the words in reading, writing, speaking, and listening for Spanish. If students need help, they are certainly encouraged to ask for help if they don't understand something or they would like more practice. I try to make myself available as much as possible before school, after school, and during focus. Focus is a great time that students can come and see me. they can plan ahead and think about, when their focus day is with me. But they can also ask me for a pass if, it's a day 2 and they have me block one and they'd like to come see me. Another great resource is our after school academic support. We also offer a bus now. So if students want a quiet place to work with a teacher that could help answer any questions, it's not necessarily me, but it has been a great resource for many students, again, to have a quiet place to work and to get some schoolwork done with a teacher here. And that bus would leave at 4 o'clock. That's Monday through Thursdays. I'll also show you in a little bit how you can find some online resources, but there are tons of resources online for students to locate in order to do extra practice. I like to tell the students that studying is active. So it's not just looking at your notes, but it's writing things out, it's speaking Spanish, it's practicing vocab on Quizlet, playing some of the games. Studying doesn't have to be boring. They can play the games on there and prepare for tests and quizzes that way. And since learning a language is a progressive process, we're always building on previous learned content. So I really want to help the students address any misunderstandings as soon as possible. And I also make sure to tell the students that just because we've tested on chapter 1 and 2 already, doesn't mean that that content is over. And so for that reason, that's why I really want students reviewing vocab each night, so it becomes part of their long-term memory and that they know those words and aren't trying to cram for every quiz and forgetting it as we go throughout the semester. If students are absent, the first place they want to check is Schoology. Again, I'll show you in a few minutes where you can locate stuff on Schoology, but there's a folder for every day where students can find resources, and they can also find an agenda for what we did that day. They may need a workbook or another resource that's here in class, but they can always message me and I might be able to send them a picture or a link to something in addition if they want to do that from home, or they can finish it and focus when they return to class. I typically give students about 5 school days to make up missed work. After that, I do start to put zeros into the gradebook just as a placeholder so students and myself are aware of what they're missing. So that way it's no surprise at the end of the quarter. But as soon as those assignments are made up, those zeros would be replaced with the grade that the student earned. If students do turn in late work, it would be, if it's late one day, it would be at most worth 80%. After that, it is worth 65%. And I do encourage students to try to be here as much as possible. Certainly, if they're feeling ill, we don't want them coming to class. And for that reason, I'm also happy to open a Google Meet if students are quarantined at home, or if they would like to join class from home. I can open a Google Meet so that they can still be engaged in what's going on here. But certainly if they're sick, stay home. But because of the nature of the speaking and listening activities, sometimes it's hard to replicate those outside of the classroom. We do know that one of the best skills we can offer students in the world language classroom is communication, not just for Spanish, but also just becoming better communicators. We know there are so many Spanish speakers worldwide, and so we want to offer students the opportunity to really enhance their resume and be able to show some Spanish proficiency to future employers and colleges. We do recommend for students looking at college that they should take at least 3 years of a language, if not all 4. Students are welcome to come chat with me about that, and I'd be happy to speak to their specific situation as much as possible. So we do know that Spanish has been really helpful for students as they're looking to join the workforce, even if it's a proficiency level where they're just conversational and not fluent. That has benefited students even in entry-level positions and positions that do not require a college degree. It can be for any job. We do offer some advanced courses here at Cocalico now. We offer a Spanish for Careers course, which is typically in the spring. And AP Spanish would be an advanced place course in which students can earn college credit if they take the AP exam and depending on the score that they earn on that exam. For both of these courses, students must complete Spanish 1 to 4 prior to taking these courses. So for that reason, it's important, since it's like a 5th class, that students would need to look at their schedule and map out and double up 1 year. So maybe as a sophomore, they take Spanish 2 and 3. So as a junior, they can take 4. And then as a senior, they can take AP or Spanish for Careers. Again, that's something they can come and chat with me or any Spanish teacher about to look at their particular schedule and align it with their other classes. We do offer the Global Scholars Program now here at Cocalico. It is a credentialing that employers and colleges can see on their transcript. It's something they can write about in their college applications, they could put on a resume. And these requirements are completed across all 4 years of high school. Students can join the program at any time, but we wouldn't start counting any of the activities until their freshman year. And then they would need to wrap up the requirements by the spring semester of their senior year. So they must take all 4 years of the same language. They have 4 other courses they need to take that have a global perspective. We have a list of those courses if students are interested. There's community service requirements in which students are looking at interacting with the global world or learning something more about the world. 4 extracurricular activities, and then 8 lit and media reviews. We do encourage students to kind of double dip and use things they're doing in their classes to meet some of these requirements as well. If students are interested in joining this program, they can just contact me and we can get the process started. And then finally, we do some different activities as a department. So we do offer a World Language Career Day. That will be on October 18th this year for the fall semester. Students will hear presentations and videos from other local employers about how their Spanish or their world language skills can impact their career. It will be from different areas, different fields of work. And then we also do World Language International Day, and this will be right before Thanksgiving, where students will hear presentations from current students about their home countries or their family heritage. And finally, I do want to share with you how you can locate items on Schoology. So this is my Spanish 1 course. My Spanish 2 course looks very similar. Students can see my requiz and retest policy up here. It's a pretty specific policy. If they have any questions about it, they are welcome to contact me. I have a folder up here that is for today's activities. Every day when students come into class, this is where they would look. This is also, if they're absent, where they would look to find out the assignments for that day. So students will see the folder for that week, and then they'll see a folder for each day, and they can open that, and that will list the agenda along with any activities or assignments they need for that particular day. If they need to make up something that is old, it would be in this past week's folder. I don't get rid of anything. I just keep moving it inside of the folder so that students can locate it at any time. If you do see that your child is missing an assignment on Schoology, on PowerSchool, they would just want to come here to Schoology if it's something on the computer, and the date on PowerSchool will match the date where they can find it here on Schoology. So hopefully that makes navigating easier. The date on PowerSchool will match the date of the folder in Schoology. The other things I include for students are that I have upcoming tests, quizzes, important dates over here. I do try to list everything for the entire chapter when we start that chapter so that students can plan accordingly to study for tests and quizzes and prepare for projects. The next thing students can find is something called chapter folders. And again, this is the same for Spanish too. Even though the content is different, it is available. So every chapter folder has vocab lists. It has speaking questions so that students can practice speaking from home. There's always an apuntes folder, which are notes. So students can locate a PowerPoint and or a video presentation that would be like my recorded lecture. So if students are absent, they can find them here. But it's also if students want to just review the content, if they were distracted during class for any reason and need to revisit the content, they didn't get all the notes down, that resource is available to any student anytime. And then finally, there's this more practice folder. I had mentioned this as a study tool. I have a Quizlet made for every single vocab list. So all students need to do is locate the right chapter and then this more practice folder, and they can see all the Quizlets that they can study. As we get into other chapters as well, the students will see games in there, and that will help them study as well. So if they want to practice, for the last section of chapter 6, that's what tercer paso is, the last third step. You can see there's a Quizlet. There might be other games as well to help them with grammar. And then finally, I had mentioned the Noticias folder. There is a folder for that. And then there is an enrichment folder. If students want to go above and beyond and study Spanish on their own, there are plenty of really amazing resources out there. Duolingo, Babbel, Mango Languages Free Rice 2.0, where students can be practicing Spanish on their own. So please feel free, if you have any questions, reach out to me. My email is ekregar, my last name, Ekregar, @calico.org, or students can reach me by Schoology message. Muchas gracias y tenga buen día.